Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Follow a Sketch Friday. So today's sketch is actually going to be a 2-page layout, and I have a bunch of different photographs from the Rise of the Resistance ride, experience, whatever you want to call it, in Walt Disney World. So these are the 3 photos that I'm going to trim down to meet the sketch, and these are the 2 that I'm going to leave at 4x6. So let's see what I can do. Alright, so I dug through my kit, and the only papers that I still had 2 of were these kind of creamy and white and green polka dot papers. So I went ahead and grabbed that, and then I grabbed this Cartabella paper that was kind of space themed, and I'm going to put that here in the center. Now, it doesn't really call for a center paper like this in the sketch, but I thought that this would kind of bring in more of the space theme instead of just some green and cream polka dots. Now, I did trim my photos down, so I have a couple of 3x3 photos, and then I have my 4x6 photos, and I'm trying to keep them as similar to as what is in the sketch as possible. Now, I kind of muffed that all up when I use these for photo mats, because I do my normal mat a ½ inch larger than my photo, because I want you to be able to see this cool paper. And if I would have just done a ½ inch larger than the photo, I don't really think you would have been able to see as much as the paper. And like I said, I want you to see that paper. So I'm going to go ahead and place the 2 4x6 photos down. Now, I am treating this as one big 12x24 canvas, and I will cut the pages apart at the end, and then that way I can place them into their page protectors and they can move on their merry way. Now, I do have to say I was really surprised how great the photograph on the left turned out, because, you know, it's a photograph of one of those hologram images. And boy, that made me just sound like an old lady. Boy, those hologram images. So anyway, just really excited how well that photo came out. Now, if you have never had the experience of riding Rise of the Resistance, you are missing out. Let me just tell you. The first time I rode it, I was so sucked into it that I didn't even stop to take pictures. Like, things didn't even register in my mind. I was just so immersed in the experience of it all. But I have since done it twice, 2 or 3 times. I think I've done it a total of 3 times, I want to say. And each time I've picked up different details going on. So it is definitely something that is not going to be a one and done experience. So now I need to start making the strips that are on the sketch here. Now, I don't do banner edges on them. I don't really feel like I want banner edges here on this layout, and for no other reason than I just don't want them. There's no, you know, deep-seated reason behind it. I just don't want them, so I'm not going to do them. Now, I am going to trim down this yellow strip of paper, and what that is going to do is allow me to put the yellow all the way across the bottom on both sides of the paper, because I am going to follow the sketch for that portion of the layout here. So I get those placed across the bottom, and again, I'm not worried about where they are ending at the join at all, because I will cut that in half once I am finished with the layout. So now this is just me, you know, touching the paper and thinking, because that's what I do. Now, I was going to keep that little piece of scrap paper that said "Hey," and I put that off to the side because I was going to use that in my title. Ultimately, it doesn't end up in the title. I end up using something else. So I have these strips of paper from one of the papers of, oh, my mind is blanking, Chamel's Field Trip, and it's just strips and stripes of different colors. So I figured that that would be perfect to go ahead and use on this layout. So now I'm going to layer these guys up, and it's just going to give me some little decorative elements here on this layout that are something a little bit different than circles and spaceships, right? Like it's just something a little bit different. Now the colors are not repeating, meaning I do not have the same strips up at the top as I do on the bottom. So it isn't a repeating color motif, it is just kind of a repeating stripy bit motif. And that still provides continuity on the page, even though the colors are not the exact same. And nobody says you have to use the colors that are the exact same. You can, use whatever you want. Now, I do spend a good amount of time figuring out my strips and how long I want them to be and which strips I want to use. And then I'm having a hard time cutting the very thinnest strip on my guillotine trimmer. So I just cut it with scissors and put it up here, up at the top. Now, I did want to kind of repeat the color that was on the bottom all the way across the page onto the top. So I did put that little bit of yellow, but it is not an exact color match. But I didn't want you to look like there was a base on the bottom of this layout and then the photograph just kind of went whoosh right off the top edge of the page. So bringing in that similar color, even though I'm not repeating all the colors, will help me contain the photographs onto the page. Now this is when I start messing around and trying to figure out if I want to change up where the photographs are, and then I decide I don't. I just need to have thinner gaps between the photographs, and then I'm going to make that happen. So I kind of line up the top photograph with the top of the 4x6 and the bottom photograph with the bottom bit of 4x6. Now this is a sticker. I don't know if it's the actual sticker or if it's just like the sticker outline of all the little triangle shapes from that field trip sticker sheet, but it's been in my Disney box for a little while because I knew I wanted to use it somehow on a Disney layout, and it ends up finally on this one. Now I am going to realize that BB-8 is on his side in a minute here, and I will change that over. Now I'm flipping through the Vicki Boutin sticker sheet because I think that I can use some things in it. I end up going for this big gold sticker that says now because I do have these big gold stars on the layout. So I figure if I have gold in two places, I might as well add in some more. Now BB-8 is right side up, and I'm just going to scroll through or flip through rather these sticker books and see what I can use. So I do see this little kind of label thing here, and I'm going to tear it in half and spread it between each point of the star. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it look like this is a much larger label than it in fact is. You just got to make sure that you line up the label underneath of the star so it doesn't look like it is super crooked. So I have these puffy words, and I knew that I wanted to use them somewhere on the layout, but I still wasn't exactly sure where. So I put them off to the side so I can figure that out. And then I am just trying out different solid color papers so I can figure out where I want this sticker thing to go. And it's basically lost its sticky, or it lost whatever tiny little bit of stickiness it did have on it. So I'm using a dot runner to just sticky over the back of it. And then I place it down on this khaki colored cardstock, and then I'm just going to trim around with my scissors. So I am basically fussy cutting the sticker over top of the khaki colored cardstock. Doesn't take any amount of great skill to do this. You just got to be careful, and then basically you're done. So I did like it with the khaki color best. I thought that the black and white both were too stark of a difference. There was too much of a contrast, and I really felt like this one kind of made it work a little bit better. Now I'm trying to figure out where I want the little sticker decoration to go. If I was following the sketch more exactly, it would have went all the way on the right hand edge. However, you know, I'm changing it up a little bit. And instead of putting another kind of banner thing up here, I'm actually going to place a word. I decided to go with the pink Explore. Now I am using my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive to go ahead and put these letters down. And I'm just using my fingers. I gotta say, I'm always amazed by people that put on their stickers with tweezers. It's like, how in the world do you have such control over those tiny little pieces with those tweezers? I wonder if it's a practice thing. Maybe I should practice it. Definitely not on camera because I feel like I would fumble it and bumble it all up. But of course, as you guys know, none of our stickers stick, so you gotta add more adhesive. The Nouveau Deluxe is definitely my favorite liquid adhesive. It does dry matte and it also dries clear. So now I've got this sticker that says now, and I am also going to place that over top of the khaki colored cardstock. I guess technically this is a pattern paper, but I am going to fussy cut this out, and I'm going to leave an ever so slight matte of this khaki color around the gold. And that is just going to give it a little bit more of a finished look instead of something that's just kind of plopped down on the page. So I go ahead and get that all trimmed out, and I'm going to overlap it there on the photos. I decide to pop it up on some fun foam. It's just going to give it a little bit of lift off the page. I feel like I have a little bit of lift already with these big gold glitter stars, so I might as well, you know, lift up the gold sticker as well. So now I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the heck am I going to do here? So I need to start looking for some embellishment and some plans. So I got to figure out what my title's going to be, because it's not going to be Explore. That's just a little decoration up there. Yes, you can decorate with words. Your decorations don't always have to be symbols and images. Now I was thinking about adding in a actual Disney piece of ephemera, but it really wasn't working for me. Everything I tried to come up with, I just was feeling about it. So, what am I doing? Trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Now, I do decide to go ahead and work on my title. So I'm bringing it down so that I can have a clear view and getting these thickers on. So these are the last bit of word thickers from this sticker sheet. I still have a little bit of floral and other bits, but the last word is getaway. And you know, it's thinking that it is like a tropical getaway, a vacation getaway, but I'm using this as get away, not as a getaway. So I'm going to get these down, and then I'm going to figure out what other thickers I can use to finish off my title, because my title is going to be something about the time to resist and get away. I don't remember what my title is. Wow, and I just completed this layout last night and I don't remember the exact words of the title. So now I'm using these tall white thickers, and these are called Thick and Thin. And I like the contrast between the black and the white and the gold. I like having a mixture of letters and sizes when I have longer titles like this. It just adds a little bit more interest. It just kind of catches your eye a little bit differently than if everything was all the same font and the same size. I feel like it draws you in a little bit more than if I just would have had everything all the same. Now on camera, it is a little bit hard to read the word resist, but when you are in person, it is not as difficult. The green polka dotted paper reads a little bit more white on camera than it actually is. It definitely has more cream tones to it, so there is a bit of contrast. So now I'm going to grab these October afternoon tile stickers, and oh, the time to resist and get away is now, is what my title was. Had to think about it for a minute. Couldn't exactly remember. So now I am going to go ahead and use these tile stickers to spell out all of the little words. And then I am super happy with my title. I like the gold stars and how they're kind of just chilling out on my page here. I'm really liking what I've got down here. Now I feel like I need to add a little bit of the extra, extra little bits that just bring your page to life. And it's just the little tiny little like dollops of finishing bits. So I have these kind of crystally white sparkly gemstone things, and I'm going to put them around my page. And then I also have some cocoa vanilla enamel shapes, and I'm going to put some of the shapes around as well. So each of the little white creamy gemstone things have a star with them. So the stars have a variety of colors and sizes, and then I decided to add a couple stars over next to the word explore as well. Now I started to just try out little things that were sitting right here next to my space just to see if I needed to add anything more, and nothing was really calling out to me. So this is where I'm going to call this one done, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments down below if you've had the opportunity to do the Rise of the Resistance ride / experience. It's kind of both, and it's amazing. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys again real soon for another video.